Yo! It's been a very, very exciting and eventful weekend for us, hasn't it?
Certainly has. We've travelled wide and afar.
You have, anyway.
Certainly have.
The other side of the world.
You didn't do bad, did you?
You, though. You. Let's start with you, mate. It's not all about me. It's about you, you know?
Yeah, I had a lovely weekend, or should I say, from Wednesday to Sunday this week.
Where were you?
Went to Bulgaria to help out and to give you pictures and hopefully, you know, get involved with the World Championship in Bulgaria.
Definitely. What happened, I think, was they knew that any chance of getting a medal, they needed your involvement.
This is it, mate. This is it.
They needed you out there on the bank, didn't they?
Certainly did. Not just me, either.
Really?
Yep, so Cameron Hughes, he was called up to go over as well.
Yeah.
So was Kerry of Lee.
Yeah.
And so was Denty of James.
Right, okay. So James Dent, Lee Kerry, yourself, Cameron Hughes, all out there, bank running,
Coaching.
coaching for Drennan Team England.
Certainly, that was it. And we didn't charge him much either.
Did you know how much you charge him?
Yeah, it was 60, 70 quid an hour.
Yeah.
And that was it.
Who do you think benefited most from your experience?
Definitely top performer, Will Razor.
Did he?
Yeah, second best benefiter was probably Colin Dix.
Yeah.
We won his section on second day. And so did Steve Hemingway.
By the way, it's not benefitter.
Benefited.
No, you're not the word for somebody who benefits from somebody.
Benefitee.
No, beneficiary.
Beneficiary.
So it's not like a fishery like Benny's, it's an actual word, beneficiary.
Right, right. No, it were really good in all seriousness. It was a big long rowing course, about 2 kilometres long, 180 metres wide, really interesting venue because it was ultra fair. If you were to pick a venue that could be fair for a world champs, that'd be it. Dead straight line, even depth, even banks. And it was stocked with mainly Carasia, which are like an F1 crucian sort of species. There's some fisheries in England have got them, like Ayfield Lakes and Whiteacres. Yeah, and also some carp between sort of £1 and £6. And there were a few other weird fish as well, like some sun perch, a few bleak and roach, and these fish that didn't count they nicknamed them Lost-a-lots, because you foul up to them often and lost them. But it was interesting because they put them in the venue because it's a rowing course, not for anglers but for the rowers, because apparently they clear the water because they gill feed on plankton. They clear the water and they think that'll make the boats go faster.
Oh, that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, but they were very weird. We've got a big mouth. I got a picture of one, put it up now. They've got a massive mouth, and because they blow in and out a lot to filter the water, you often foul up them around the face and under the chin. So a lot of people have upped them, played them, and then been really disappointed when.
Bless them. Bless them.
Made it really interesting. And on the results front, Drennan Team England ended up in bronze medal position out of 34 teams, which were a proper good achievement.
A medal in a world championship is an awesome result. And I think sometimes, being English, we do get a little bit, what's the word for it?
Carried away with winning.
Artificially high standards sometimes. You know, they do win quite a lot. We always think, when they don't win, they come back and was a bit like, well, actually, bloody hell, 3rd out of 34 teams. Bronze in a world championship. It's an amazing achievement.
Brilliant, 3rd best team in the world. But flip that around, and I know for certain that they probably think they might have been able to do a little bit better in a few sections. Like, I know that Will was incredibly incredibly unlucky. I watched him on the second day. I helped run his section, and he's had a carp around 2 kilo, nearly £5. Hooked it, which is hard enough to get him on the hook in the first place, because you might only hook one, and luckily he ended up catching 4 that day. But this was the first one he hooked that day. He's hooked it, done really well to get it all the way in and play it all the way in, because World Champs rules are if it crosses with the man's line next to you and catches his line, it doesn't count. He's got it all the way back in, and then the Frenchman at the last minute struck next to him at a bite, and this fish has just caught around the Frenchman's line and swirled, and we still got it in. So he's got the fish in the landing net, hooked it, caught it, landed it, and it didn't count, got disqualified. And it wasn't the Frenchman's fault, because he genuinely had a bite, struck, and he actually had a Carasia on the end of his line. So he had to put that back as well, because Will's fish had swum through him. It's a weird one. I don't agree with it personally. I think it's the pegging's that tight, and there's that much intensity and pressure, and it's that difficult to catch fish in the first place. Some sort of gentleman's agreement, no deliberate casting over each other's line when you've got a fish on and all that sort of thing. I'd much think it'd be better like that, because in reality, looking back, if Will would have had that fish count, he'd have been world champion. Just cost him winning the world champs.
Good to bless him.
Yeah, but no, awesome performance. Callum Dix won his section on the second day, and he's the youngest member of the team, so I think he deserves a massive well done. Absolutely. Yeah, he was awesome. I watched him on first day, fire his ground baiting, and proper world class, and will work. They all are. They're scary. When you sit down and watch them, you can see why they consistently do so well, Steve Gray won his section on second day. Alan had a bit of a nightmare at first day, come 10th, but he definitely drew a little bit out of it, and a late runner fish to push him up, and it was really good watching him. It's such a good experience. And interestingly, there were quite a few people from England went out to support him, even though it's quite a long way, it's a 3-hour flight, but they've been there the last few years, and there were a few more this year. So interest's obviously growing and support's growing. Like, Scott Smith?
Yeah.
He were there with a team of lads. They all got T-shirts on. Plovdiv 2016, Bulgaria. And it was good to see all them out there. If you fancy something different for like a break, few beers, and
we went, we had a good time, didn't we?
Brilliant. Right, good experience. You learn loads. But that was my weekend. Got back 2 a.m. Monday morning. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and can't wait to go again next year.
I think you'll be fishing next year. That's my guess. That's my guess. And I think you'll be in next year.
No, they don't let gingers in.
Really? No. Simon Wilsmore got him once, I'm sure he did.
I think he did actually.
So I think
he's good though. He's good.
Stop it.
How were your weekend anyway?
Mate, I had an awesome weekend. An absolutely brilliant weekend.
It was an intense battle, wasn't it?
Saturday was the most intense of battles. It was the North versus South match at Tunnel Barn Farm.
Nice.
Which, to be honest, was even more highly contested than the World Championship.
Definitely.
To be honest.
100%.
Because you've got 100 angry Northerners.
Yeah.
And 100 shandy drinking Southerners.
Yeah.
Lining up to do battle. And it was great. It's good fun, good banter. And the aim of the game, obviously, is to raise money for the England disabled team.
Brilliant.
So it's always a nice event. I enjoyed it last year. Anyway, I drew peg 2 on top pull, and I must be honest, I wasn't too happy with my peg.
Right.
Very, very tight the pegging round there. Peg 1 was in, peg 3 was in.
Ooh.
A little bit crammed in. Joe Carey, who knows the venue really well, said, I think the word he used was dross.
Oh dear.
Which isn't...
You don't want to hear that come out in his mouth, do you?
No, not when you draw a peg. But anyway, you've got to be positive, It's a day's fishing, it's all about the event. I'm not going to moan too much, so I'm in little wins like you've got to.
Yeah.
And off I went. And I actually had, when I sat down and fished, a really, really nice day's fishing. My plan was just to fish maggots on the short pot and hopefully catch a few silvers with the odd F1 mixed in. So now there's a lot of hide in the lake, and Joe said that everywhere I am, there is a few hide. And I've caught a lot of hide, a few skimmers, with the odd F1 mixed in.
Lovely.
So for 4 hours, it was a 6-hour match. 4 hours, I really, really enjoyed myself.
Brilliant.
Catching a steady run of bites, keeping things going in the net, and I could see the two Southerners either side of me, because the way it's pegged, it's Southerner, Northerner, all the way around. And I could see them. And, I just thought, well, I'm keeping ahead of the opposition, doing the job for Team North, let's carry on with this. And anyway, then, because I caught a few fish, I thought, I'm going to try and up the ante here. I think I might actually have a chance of maybe winning the lake if I could catch a few more. So I've started to really up the feed, and that's brought more F1s in, which was the name of the game. But my word, were they difficult to catch later.
Really?
And by that, I mean what they were doing. You were hooking them, and they were just heading straight under your platform, or straight into the weed. I think it's because it was so clear. The water was really, really clear.
They could see where they were going.
And they just, there's a lot of snags around there, like on the edge and under the platform. Bloody hell, a nightmare. Trying to snag me up every time. So I stepped up to some heavier gear, like I do, and a slightly bigger hook, size 16 B911, and then I was pulling out of them. So
you were in a lose-lose situation?
Literally lose-lose, because I lost quite a few fish.
But you didn't lose in section points, did you?
I did actually. I was second in my section match.
Which is a good result.
I had £65.
Was it a northerner or a southerner who beat you?
My section was actually won from the far end peg in the section by a northerner.
That's alright.
Emma Pickering, who won the section with £71, I believe, or £73.
What did you have?
65. So them lost fish have actually really caught me.
Caught you?
Cost me.
Cost you.
But the important thing...
Good job they didn't catch you.
It is, isn't it? The important thing was my two southerners either side. So well.
Did you have them?
I'm not normally one to big up my results in this way, but as it was North versus South, I'm actually going to do it. And we did actually, or I did actually manage to double the two Southerners.
Right.
Enough about that anyway.
Team North won the title. In that case, if it was seeing how much money they got, were it?
No.
They did double you, wouldn't they?
They definitely double. And I meant they could drink more shandy than me as well.
Definitely.
I tell you, I think both of them would have caught a lot more, but they both kept stopping to moisturise their hands.
Did they really?
Several points through the day.
Right.
To moisturise hands. And one of them got a fancy coffee making machine. He kept making himself frothy coffees and stuff.
Yeah. Right.
So it was a funny day. But yeah, Team North won. I was over the moon. And Sunday I spent on my prep. I had a day getting all my kit ready for the forthcoming Natural Baits Festival at Western Pool, which I'm very much looking forward to.
And that's Friday and Saturday this week, is it?
That's this Friday and this Saturday. There's myself, Joe Caris, Jake Fowles and Jordan Holloway all stopping in a nice, and Christian Jones all stopping in a nice wooden lodge at Western Pool. It's a great event. Fished it last year, 70-odd anglers, natural baits only. Can't wait for that. So
brilliant.
Yeah, that's this weekend coming up.
I'm not going.
I know, because you're going to
Scotland.
Are you?
Aye.
Talk me through it.
I'm going on the Silverfest, which is an event run by Mark Truman and Stephen McCaveney of Daiwa. And it's brilliant. It's on Loch Ken, big Scottish loch, beautiful surroundings, red kites flying above your head, loads of roach, few skimmers.
Red kites?
There's a few people have them, take them flying on the
What about yellow kites?
No yellow kites.
And one more question. Earlier on you were about these sun perch.
Yeah.
And they're really small, aren't they?
Yeah.
Well, if sun perch are really small, why don't you fish mummy and daddy perch? They'd be bigger.
That's true, that, yeah. I'm going to fish for a cousin cod.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
So that'll be really nice.
That'll be went last year, it were awesome, caught loads of fish, beautiful surroundings. I'm taking my dad up. I'm going to do a feature with James Woodrow, one of the Scottish internationals.
Brilliant. I love James, great angler.
Yeah, he is, isn't he? He is, so looking forward to it. A few pints of Scottish ale, hopefully, in the evening.
Tennant super, that's what they're drinking.
Yeah. So,
you'll love it. Haggis for breakfast.
And then, week after that, we've got the Monk Hall Festival, which people can still book on, can't they?
They can still book onto the Monk Hall Festival. Yeah, that's actually the following Thursday and Friday. They can book onto that via Ben Stamford, and we'll put the contact number you need to ring to book on the Monk Hall Festival across the bottom of your screen now. And then where do we go?
And then we go straight from Monk Hall to sunny Newquay, Whiteacres, to fish the Preston Innovations Autumn Festival. Then, after we've won that, we're going to qualify for the Parkney Masters Final. Yeah. And we're going to win that as well.
So if it all goes to plan, mate, we should have about 40 grand to share over the next sort of 3 weeks, shouldn't we?
Yeah. Let's stay positive. Let's say that's going to happen. Yeah, it is.
Absolutely, yes. Then on the way home, we're going to meet a pair of Swedish twins.
Yeah, Derek and David.
No. Anita and
Anastasia.
Yes, and take them back to the Lodge of Love with all the money.
Yeah.
Buy them a cheap Chinese meal to take away. Succulent cheap Chinese meal. And you can, maybe a few of the cans of Tennant super you've got left over.
Yeah.
Get them drunk and have my wicked way with them.
Right. I'll watch.
It's fantastic.
See you later.